As we all know, the whole boxing world was led to believe that Canelo Alvarez's next opponent will be Jermell Charlo, and it was going to take place on Cinco de Mayo weekend. Jermell Charlo is the twin brother of Jermell Charlo, which Canelo already beat. But I know we all wanted this fight, but I got some bad news. Jermell Charlo just posted a video of him stating that this fight is not yet confirmed. And that is the reason that Jermell Charlo dropped that video. And this is what we are going to be talking about next. But before that, guys, if you guys are not subscribed, please punch and knock out that subscription button. That way you'll never see it again. And ding that notification bell. That way you'll never miss any of my new boxing videos. Alright guys, let's get to the round. Ding ding. Okay champs, let's get started. In the video that Jermell Charlo dropped, he was on vacation because it is Valentine's Day. And happy Valentine's Day, everybody. I hope you guys did something special for your girl. Or if you don't have a girl, don't worry, there's always next year. But Charlo states that the reason he is partying and not training is because it's Valentine's Day, and he says why not. And at the moment he is enjoying his best life with his fam bam and Turks and Caicos. He also states that everybody is saying that he is supposed to fight Canelo Alvarez next, but he said that nothing is confirmed. He states that he hasn't even talked to Al Heyman since he last fought Jose Benavides. So he doesn't know where all these rumors came from, but he is a potential opponent for Canelo Alvarez on Cinco de Mayo weekend. But he states if the fight is confirmed, he will do what he has to do and start training for the fight. Even though he is heavily drinking, I believe he gets a pass today. Is Valentine's Day. But it is a little less than 3 months for Cinco de Mayo, and if he is going to fight Canelo, I will start training after his weekend is over. Because to train for a caliber of Canelo, I believe you at least need 2 months of training. But to be honest, I really think you need like 3 months of training. But we all know Charlo is a very talented fighter, but this is not Jose Benavides we're talking about. This is Canelo Alvarez. So it is confirmed. We don't know if Canelo and Charlo are going to be fighting next. And not just that, recently Canelo Alvarez did an interview with TV Azteca, and Canelo Alvarez actually confirmed this. He stated that he is still negotiating his next opponent, and he said that he will reveal his next opponent in a week or two, but he did not state that it was Charlo. But the only clue that Canelo gave us is that it's not gonna be a Mexican fighter. It's going to be an American fighter that he fights next. So we can scratch off Jaime Munguia, because Jaime Munguia is actually from Mexico. I remember I really thought it was going to be Jaime Munguia, because Jaime Munguia stated that Canelo Alvarez is actually the one that contacted them to make this fight happen. But Canelo has contradicted himself, because he has stated before that he will not fight a Mexican because he represents Mexico. And I always found that very weird, because I have not ever seen another great Mexican fighter avoid another Mexican fighter just because they are from the same country. Usually when Mexicans fight, it's a melee, it's an all-out war, blood, sweat, and tears. But I really don't think it's going to be David Benavides next. I believe Canelo Alvarez is saving David Benavides for last. I believe David Benavides is the most dangerous fighter that Canelo can fight right now at 168. And I do not believe Terence Crawford is next. But I could be wrong. If Terence Crawford is next, I do not give him any chance to beat Canelo, as I doubt he would get acclimated at 168 in such a short amount of time. Terence Crawford will have to bulk up to 168 in less than 3 months, and I doubt he can bulk up healthy at 168. I mean, if he really wants to fight, I know he can make 168, but you're gonna see a fat Crawford. I think even with steroids, it's hard to make that much muscle in that little bit of time. The best chance for Crawford to just even compete with Canelo is to wait for September. This is what I think. Crawford will not be able to fight again after Canelo, and he is planning to retire after Canelo. Terence Crawford is in a win-win situation and Canelo is in a lose-lose situation. It's not a if. When Canelo beats Crawford, there's always gonna be a built-in excuse. Terence Crawford dared to be great, moving up 3 weight classes, but he came up short. Just because he knocked out a rib-injured, weight-drained Errol Spence at 147 doesn't mean he could do the same to a 168-pounder. Yes, he does have power at 147, but it took him 12 rounds to knock out Jose Benavidez. And I guarantee you, his power will not translate 3 weight classes up. If I was Terence Crawford, I will not even fight Canelo this year. I will wait for next year. As Canelo Alvarez already stated, he is planning to fight at least 5 more years. That's 10 fights. Because Canelo Alvarez fights twice a year. 5 times 2, that's 10. But it doesn't mean that he will fight 10 different opponents. There could always be a rematch. He might lose to somebody else. There is always fighters like David Morrell, but I personally believe David Morrell is too green. I believe he only has like 10 fights. And there is always Berlanga as well. But don't worry, Crawford, I don't think Canelo Alvarez will ever fight at 175 again. If he does, he will have to face either Beterbiev or Bivol. And Canelo Alvarez already lost to Bivol, and I doubt he wants that rematch. But I really doubt Canelo Alvarez fights David Benavidez this year. I believe he's going to fight him next year on Cinco de Mayo, because Canelo already stated that he's planning to fight 5 more years. And I don't think Canelo is rushing that fight, even though I think that's a bad idea. The more time that comes, the more better that Benavidez will get, as Benavidez is always trying to improve, trying to take on the toughest fights and the toughest fighters. And Benavidez has gotten better. He knows how to cut off the ring a lot more. And in about 3 years, I see David Morrell having at least 20 fights already. And if Canelo beats Benavidez, they're gonna say, well, you need to fight Dave Morrell. And there goes the hype again. Everybody will call Canelo a duck again, saying you need to fight Dave Morrell. If you can beat Dave Morrell, I will not say anything ever again. I remember Canelo went through the same thing with Triple G. People say if Canelo fights and beats Triple G, I will not say anything ever again. Not only did Canelo fight Triple G's once, he fought the dude 3 times. So I doubt Canelo is ducking anyone. If you guys like the show, subscribe, like the video, share the video, and that's it for me, champs. I gotta roll.
I shook up the world! I shook up the world! I shook up the world!